event. Everybody just kind of feel like a teacher and have to quiet everybody down. So, my name is LionelTavares.
Hi, Lionel.
I have a very crazy testimony. I grew up on what I would say a kind of skinwalker type of ranch type of place. So this location is about an hour and a half away from Joshua Tree. If you guys know anything about Joshua Tree, it's a very big UFO hotspot. A lot of cryptids, a lot of crazy things going on. There's even a death cult out there, right? But anyways, that's where I grew up. I grew up specifically in Indios. It's a very big flat desert with very big mountains, the fault line. I live right next to the fault line. So, I want to start off with the craziest one that I had, the one that made me turn to Christ. So, when I was about 15 years old, let me just give you a background. I wasn't a really popular kid in high school. I got picked on, got bullied. So, as a freshman in high school, I was really excited at the fact that a bunch of seniors invited me to a high school party because I never got any attention. So, long story short, this party was on Christmas Eve. I think it's the 24th or 23rd. Anyway, so at the same time though, my grandfather, who I lived with, who was more like a father to me than a grandfather, he's the one that raised me. To this day, I wear his Golden Gloves boxing. He won the Olympics, so he came second place. So he was a really like big, like kind of idol to me, you know, for lack of better words. But I lived with them till I was 18. It was me, my dad, my stepmom, my little sister, my grandma, my grandfather. And sometimes in between, well, you'll have some family members have a hard time, we'll just let them stay. So at one point, there's about 10 people living in a 2-bedroom house. So it got pretty busy. We were very, very poor. But anyways, that night, my grandfather, he'd been in the hospital for about 2 weeks at this point. He was having some very major surgery on his heart. He had what's it called, a bypass surgery, right? His was a little more complicated. So that surgery, when that happened, was on the same night, the 24th. And his birthday is on Christmas morning. So all this just kind of connected in a very weird, coincidental way. So instead of going with my whole family like I should have, go to the hospital and make sure my grandfather is good. Living with him being like my father, that's the obvious thing I should have done, right? But I chose to go to the party instead because I was being selfish. I wanted to be popular, I wanted to be liked, I wanted to be loved. So I went to this party and I wasn't missing out much. Now that I'm older now, it's just a bunch of people getting drunk, acting stupid. So I drank for the first time in my life that night. Partied, did my thing all night. So this is the first time also I stayed at that place by myself because there were so many people living in our house, there was always someone home. So this is the first time I was ever alone in the little mobile home that we had. So I get home about 2, 3 in the morning. I pass out on this little cot. The cot looks like those little cots that it's a bed and turns into a couch, but I had a really cheap one. It's like $40, like 20 pounds or whatever. So I'm sleeping on this thing, right? Because I didn't have my own room. So my room was a living room, which just kind of turned into a little makeshift room. So I'm sleeping on this cot, right? So just imagine this table is the bed, and then the back of it, I'm sleeping on it as a couch. So the back of it's bent this way. And I'm sleeping this way, my body sideways and my face right here. So long story short, at about 8, 9 in the morning, I feel this happening. My head's over here, I feel this, and then it drops. So Christmas morning, I'm assuming, like every year, my cousins come over, open presents, blah, 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 blah. First thought that comes to my head, and by the way, I had my first hangover that day. First hangover ever, right? Head was pounding. Then I feel it again, go a little higher like this, and then boom, drop it hard, right? So then I kind of shout, my face is still in the back of it, so I don't see what's behind me. So I say, without thinking, Sean, leave me alone, I'm trying to sleep. My cousin named Sean, he's always the one that likes to pick on me and do dumb stuff, right? So, then the third time, I can't show it, because the third time the bed went all the way to like this high. Boom, dropped, and when it dropped, I got physically thrown off of the couch or the cot. And I landed flat on my back, like if it was this, I would have been this way, laying down this way. So the way my house was set up in the mobile home, the front door's right here, it's probably about this close to where I was at. Right here. So as soon as that happened, I saw the door go boom, 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 like a big wind hit it. Like it didn't open, but it rattled the door locked. And all of a sudden I hear this big footsteps coming at me, boom, boom, it's getting closer. Then I hear a growl, I heard a growling noise, and I started smelling what I would call back then like fart and rotten egg, but it's sulfur. I found out that's sulfur, right? So I was very naive. I didn't believe in Christ at the time. Before this event happened, I'd probably seen about 1 million UFOs and seen a bunch of weird creatures, and I've had so many dogs like died in a way that people will say maybe it's an alien because they would be completely drained of blood, sucked dry, no blood, no cuts, no openings. One dog that we found, it was fine one day, and the very next day it looked like that. It looked like it'd been dead for like 10 years. Very strange stuff. So, anyways, this thing's coming at me, boom, boom. Hear the growl, then I feel this tremendous amount of pain, like something's holding me here. And I can't move, so I look down like this. And then I can see, imagine an invisible person holding you. You'll see the indention, but you won't see the physical part of it, right? So I started crying. I was looking up, and his tears are running down my eyes. I'm so terrified. Like, I can't even tell you the fear that I had that day. It's so scary. So I feel this thing right here growling at me. I can smell it. It felt like it lasted like 10 minutes. It was probably about maybe a minute and a half, the whole thing. Excuse me. So I'm thinking in my head, help me, like leave me alone, get away from me. And when I said this name unconsciously, I just said it, growing up, Jesus help me, whatever. I said, Jesus, please help me. When I said that, this thing made I heard a noise like a shriek, like a chicken and a pig being murdered at the same time. Ugly noise, right? Once that happened, the front door went boom, boom, boom again. I'm assuming it left. Not even 5 seconds after that happened, my whole family gets home on Christmas morning, my grandfather from surgery, blah, 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 right? And I'm sitting Indian style right there, just bawling. I can't even tell you, I never cried so hard when I was so terrified. Like, this is scary. Like, I used to be a boxer, okay? I would rather fight 10 Mike Tysons in his prime than go through that ever again. So, with that being said, everybody was like, what's going on? Why are you crying? It was my grandfather, my grandma, they all passed away without my grandfather, but it was my grandma, my grandfather, my dad, my stepmom, my little sister, my aunts, her 2 kids, and my other uncle and his 3 kids. There was a lot of people that came in that day. So they're all looking at me crying like a little kid, and what's going on, what's going on? I told them what happened, and all of them believe in this stuff because they all experience this stuff, especially my grandma and my grandpa. We've been going through it, living there together. So, I tell them what happened. My grandma's old school though. She'll mess around. My grandma said, that's what you get for not visiting your grandfather. She had no remorse. That's what you get in Spanish. So, all right, so I was like, okay. So what I took from that, that day, my whole life changed. So what I took from that, whatever this entity was, it was very powerful, very strong. It's invisible. You can't even physically fight it. But what connected to me was it was terrified of me, and that name was Jesus. So that day, I'm like, I want to know more about this Jesus guy. So that was the beginning of it, where I started listening to Chuck Missler, cassette tapes. They said the cassette tapes. So listening to Chuck Missler, and at the time I was also listening to Art Bell, but he had passed away a few years later. And the first channel I started running into was 90 TV. Way back in there, 2011. I've been listening to them ever since. It's kind of surreal that I'm actually here with him, but anyways, yeah, it's kind of wild. But that was my whole transformation from that. That's when I knew that there is a spiritual realm, there is demons, and there is a good side. And they all bend the knee to Jesus. So with that being said, I'm gonna follow the one that has the power, So, and he helped me that day. He sent this thing away from me like that. And I can tell you I had about 10 more other experiences like that, but they weren't that intense, but the name just kept getting them away. Now, that's my testimony for how I became a Christian, but I also wanted to share a story that happened a few years later. I was about 17 maybe. I was between 15 and 17, it's hard to remember, but I had a dream one night at the same ranch. So the way we lived, we lived like in the middle of nowhere. It's the middle of the desert. Our neighbors are about 4 or 5 miles apart. They're all ranches. We had a ranch too. So anyways, there's a 4-way stop. So let's just say this is my mobile home here. We're on a hill. Driveway goes down. This one's a 4-way stop. Boom, boom, this way, this way. So the stop sign's about right here in my dream, and I see this big, tall thing. The stop sign's about 13 feet high, so the thing was bigger than it. It felt real. And it was like this really skinny, I was like a gray alien kind of look, but not a gray alien. It was very skinny, black and slimy, had like scales on it. And it just had these big, bold eyes, right? So terrifying dream, what the heck is that all about, right? Anyways, next day, So by the way, my neighbors were my friends. We all went to school. We rode the bus together. So I had a neighbor named Joel. He was our close neighbor, about 3-4 miles away. So they passed by our house all the time. My family knew his. We had, we barbecued together, whatever. So we're very close, right? So the next night, at about 10 o'clock at night, Buddy, his 2 brothers, and his brother's girlfriend all were at our front door knocking, begging to come inside, and the dogs were whimpering on the back door. So we open the door, and my grandpa, you know how he is, he has his gun first. So he's knocking on the door, 10 o'clock, he's a military guy. Chill out, it's Joel. So we bring him in, and they're both hysterical. They're all white in the face, like they saw a ghost. And my dad and my grandpa like, calm down, like everybody was talking at the same time, slow down. So the oldest one, Josue, said he was driving, and it's the 4-way stop. He said when they got to the stop sign, he's at the part where there's the other side of the road. You can make a left or right and go forward. He's at the back part of it. So you can see across the street, there's this giant stick-looking thing next to the stop sign, but it's so tall, it just looks like 2 sticks, because if you have to put the light higher. So as they get closer, they can see that it's something there, and they're all freaking out. They think it's a joke, like a scarecrow or something. So they pull up, and the way they describe it, you have to look like this in the window. They're one of those old Oldsmobile cars. You got that big couch in the back seats. They're all looking like this. So they said when they looked at it, it was just like a statue like this. So imagine you're looking at it. This is how you see the profile view. And they said it was just there doing nothing. And they said within like 5 seconds, it just looked at them like this, boom, like just boom, like that. It's freaky. It doesn't even chill thinking about it. I had a dream about this the night before. So they said it looked at them, and they said they just froze. They didn't know what to do. They said when they looked at it, it said it started vibrating. It wasn't moving, it wasn't doing. It was just like this, and it started going. And there was dust coming out, so it's a physical, being. It said it started vibrating, and it just shot in our backyard of all places. Boom! And they saw a little green light go into the sky. So I don't know what to make with that. Maybe you guys can give me some opinions, but I have no idea what that was, but I do know it was evil. And the very next day, again, it's a 3-day thing. The next day on that stop sign, I believe I told you guys I had a lot of dogs on my ranch, guard dogs. We had 2 red-nosed pit bulls, purebreds. We love those dogs. I had them for about 10 years. They're old already. Coco and Red. We found Coco right where the stop sign was at, completely sucked dry of its blood. No cuts, no blood, nothing. It looked like someone put a needle in it and sucked all the fluids out. That's what it looked like. Like it looked like it'd been, what's it called when you taxidermy? It looked like fat. There was nothing in it without the filling though. And then the other dog died about the next day later, Red, the same way in a different location. So it was really heartbreaking to put a lot of fear into us because we don't know, because up until that point, there were so many weird things that happened. So I'll share one more. If you guys want me to share more, you guys can ask, but I'll share one more before I do the question. So one of the craziest ones that my grandfather, my grandma, her sister, her husband Joe, and a couple other neighbors, and my father and his brothers and sister could all testify. Their dad wasn't born yet, but they talk about this story all the time. So they're all having a barbecue outside a bonfire, whatever, like at 11 o'clock, midnight, whatever. And they live also like 2-3 miles away. So my grandma's both sisters both live next to us, but miles away. We all have our own ranches, right? So they said they're having a bonfire, and I remember the mobile home. The roof was no taller than like 10 feet. So if you jump high enough, you just grab it and go up there, right? So they said they started hearing rocks being thrown on the roof. So the bonfire's probably about where that door's at, and the mobile home's over here where the wall's at. But it's pitch black at night. You can't see nothing unless you go out there. There was no street lights back then. You could look at the sky and it's purple, beautiful Milky Way, beautiful sky. So that's how. So at night with the white sand, it kind of glows at night. With the moon out, it's almost daylight practically. So, anyways, they hear these noises and rocks are falling out the roof. And my uncle Joe, he was also crazy as a veteran too. So first thing he gets is a shock and what's on the roof. So he's looking on the roof, gets a ladder, nothing there, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody says, "Hey, over here, put the light. There's something in the tree." There's like we had big tamarisk trees. Tamarisk trees, like big trees like a fence. They grow like a fence. People use them for fences, whatever. But they said they looked up and they said it looked like there was an owl about 4 feet tall, a massive white owl just staring at them, right, like an albino one. So they have like the red eyes, right? So he's flashing light and the eyes are glowing red and they're all freaked out. So my uncle had the shotgun, just boom, boom, and shot the thing, right? He said when he shot it, it screamed like a woman. They went to go, went to go see what was up, and we have all the witnesses. And like I said, my uncle, my dad, my dad as a kid, his brother, sister, my grandma, everybody was there. They said they shot it and there was no blood. They got closer to it and like messed with it. They said all of its insides was human hair. There was no blood. It was just human hair. And I don't know exactly what it is, but my opinion is studying all the stuff, they call it brujeria. It's like a Mexican or kind of Puerto Rican, Spanish kind of voodoo. In Africa, it's voodoo, and in the Mexican world, it's brujeria. There's a different name for everything. The Irish call it white magic, whatever. It's the same thing, right? So they believe that they killed what you would call like a drone, like maybe a witch is controlling it from somewhere else, or it could have been some kind of shapeshifter. I don't know what it was, but that story is kind of wild right there. So I have a lot of stories, but I don't want to I want you guys to ask questions, but I'll also share that I also worked in Hollywood in the year 2004 to about 2008 when everything went into hiatus because of the recession. But I used to work in the movie industry. I started out being an extra, then I was a stand-in. A stand-in is basically I worked for Mario Lopez at one point. They thought I looked like him, same height, whatever. So when they're about to do a scene, they'll have me sit there to get the shot, and then I just go walk and he goes in. So that was my job for a while. Okay. And everything that you heard is true. Everything. The rituals, all the weird sex magic, the blood rituals, 100% real. If I was all down with that, I wouldn't be here right now. So I quit that job right away, but I can tell you that a lot of celebrities that you think that are straight they're not.
I know, yeah.
I can share a story about that, but that's pretty much why I started this podcast. I've had every guest you can imagine, everybody in this room, in the show, pretty much had everybody on my show, Gary Wayne, Ali Marzulli, I have a lot of people. So I have a lot of information. You guys want to check it out, the Sabbath at midnight, but that's for later. Now, if you guys have any questions, will be the time. Anybody have any questions? Go ahead.
Okay, so your family, parents, grandparents, whatever, were they Christian?
Yes.
Were they Catholic?
My grandmother was a Catholic, I remember that, but she started experiencing all this demonic stuff when she was doing praying the rosemary, things got worse. So she actually, at this point, she was no longer a Catholic though. She already grown out of that. That's when she was like maybe 18, 19, 20. But yeah, my grandfather was a hardcore Christian. My aunts and uncles were all actually my aunt and uncle were Catholics, so the ones that they were at. But my family itself, the close family, they were all Christians. Every single one of them. So.
But did they still do the Christmas and
all
that?
Towards the end, we stopped doing it because we started getting more involved. Like 90 CTV has literally taught me how to not do all this nonsense. But yes, we did practice some of that. But towards the end, we didn't. Towards the last maybe 10 years of their life, we cut all that stuff off. But yeah, that's your question. Any other questions, anybody? Go ahead.
I have two questions.
Go for it.
The first one is, why do you think that area of Joshua Tree attracts this kind of paranormal activity? And my second question is, when it comes to Hollywood, I'll hold a second.
Okay, so well, I don't know personally why Joshua Tree's at, but I do know I live close to it, and I forgot to mention, some people here already heard my story, but we found a lot of Indian pottery there. Like, it wasn't hard to find. If you just get a shovel, mess around a little bit, you can find pottery, arrowheads, and at one point, I forgot to mention, my grandmother found an infant skeleton. We had to call the cops and get it picked up. It was like a 4-year-old kid out of the desert. I don't know how old it was or whatever, but there's some weird stuff going on. I don't know if Joshua Tree has that, but I do know Joshua Tree has a lot of mounds out there. I don't know exactly why, but I'm not saying that's what it is, but there's a lot of mounds out there. As a matter of fact, I forgot there was a big mountain in our backyard, like about 20 acres away. Wow. So there was a lot of stuff going on out there. I can honestly tell you, I saw like a little hole open up one time over it. It looked like a white light, and these little like rainbow colored orbs came out of it. But I just have so many things that happen. It's hard for me to tell them all without people asking me to remind me. But I probably experienced about 100 different things. Everything from seeing I saw a big giant pyramid UFO when I was about 10. And about 200 people saw us on the freeway, on the 10 freeway going east in California, going west towards LA. And my dad called it in, he called the air control and they said there's nothing there. So they just said, oh, nothing. The next day on the Art Bell show, a bunch of people called in, they said they saw the same thing. So my dad got a hold of him, he wanted me to draw a picture of it, and my picture was featured on his website. But I seen that. I seen a bell, UFOs like a bell like this. I seen like these giant dogs far away in the backyard, like this big. My grandpa would shoot at them, nothing would happen. They don't flinch. A couple times they got hit, nothing happened. There's a lot of crazy stuff out there. But yeah, that place was definitely, I don't know 100% sure, but I think the Indian burial ground has a really big thing to it because a lot of people that don't know about them, they weren't like these. Like a lot of people like to think Indians are just sitting around singing kumbaya, smoking pot. No, that's not what they were doing. They were out doing sacrifices. They worshiped pagan gods. They were cannibals. They're eating the Aztecs and Mayans. They were eating people. So it's a very misconception when people say, oh, you know, all these colonizers came and killed all the Aztecs. Well, I mean, would you want your neighbor to be cannibalizing you? They're gonna, you know, eat your heart because they don't believe it's gonna rain next week. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So, yeah, that's the kind of. So the Native Americans, not all of them, but they were practicing a lot of demonic stuff. They thought that animals were the spirit guide, and we all know what that leads down to. But yeah, any more questions? Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
And then my second question, in regards to Hollywood, do you speak on or do you have any thoughts on the truth, if there is any, behind Pizzagate?
Oh, 100% sure. I mean, I don't know exactly, but what I've seen, it doesn't seem like they care and they're willing to take it to the next level.
Oh,
So my example would be, I worked, one of the craziest ones, I have a lot of them, but the craziest ones, I worked on a show called Bones, old TV show on TNT, I think. So it was like season 3, so I don't know how many seasons there are now, it was a long time ago, before 2008, because it was before the hiatus. But anyways, after the last episode, they did like this Motley Crue band last episode, so they wanted to celebrate, and all the people that were above and extra got invited to the after party. And I was one of them, so I went to the after party, and it was in the Hollywood Hills. You know, it looked like the movies. You have the big, you know, you're on the hills where the signs at. You see the city far away, beautiful scenery. So you walk into the back gate, very private security there. You know, you have to, like some people couldn't bring their cell phones in, but I got mine in. I just, you know, went a different way. But anyway, I got in there, and the first thing you see is the pool. The pool is big double doors, and they're open. The house is beautiful. You have this big rectangle pool that probably goes from about here to about where the gentleman's at in the red shirt. Big long pool, but not very wide, right? At the end of it, and again, I was a little naive. I believed in God, but I still didn't know much about symbology. There's this big giant statue of Baphomet at the end of the pool, block one. Now in my head, I'm still naive. I'm only 19, 20. I've never, like at this point, no one's ever heard of Hollywood or the weird stuff. So in my head, I'm like, this is just LA. They're just like this. This is just art. You know, that guy's wearing makeup and high heels. He's not gay. He's just doing art. That's, you know, because that's the mindset you had before everything came out. You just think, you know, 80 rockers are wearing ties. You know, it's just the same thing, right? So wearing makeup, whatever. So anyways, I get invited to this after party, right? And there's like a bunch of bars, like, you know, like outside they have those little booths. So it's like there's little booths everywhere. There's a bar on this side, bar on that side, bar on the side. So I'm walking and I see these two guys bartending. They're wearing like fishnet, pink, like neon, had lipstick on. I'm like, I'm looking around like, what the hell's going on here? What's going on here? Where the girls at? So anyways, I'm going around. And I'm just like, I'm going inside. I'm not feeling this right. They're all checking me out, up and down. I'm like, I'm good. So I go inside, double doors, and the way it's set up, let's just say I'm going double doors, a big, massive living room, hallway this way, hallway that way. Big double doors this way. I didn't make it past the double doors. I'll tell you why. Because I'm walking there, looking for the restroom, trying to just get out of the chaos. This door opens up, boom, right in front of me. Don't even say excuse me. 3 guys walk out, and I'm just gonna tell you what I saw. I'm not trying to be graphic or anything. My pants, but their zippers up. 3 guys walk out. The last one that follows is Lindsay Lohan. She looked like she just got what just happened. 3 guys were doing, you know what, sir? So I'm just like, man, my stomach started hurting. I'm like, I don't want to be here no more, man. So I'm gonna get a drink and bounce. So I go to the bar that's inside, and there's this big buff dude, a 6'5", lipstick on and eyeliner on, and he was arm wrestling some dude and he beat him. I was like, I'm out of here. So after that, I didn't say bye to nobody. I just left. So that was one of the parties, and I'll share the last one with you. This happened with the same group. So the guy that invited me pretty much was the makeup artist on set. You know, about this big, short Hispanic guy, had a ponytail, wore lip gloss. But again, I'm thinking these guys are just in Hollywood. This is how they dress. You know, this is normal for them. So, anyways, he invites me to the Roxbury. You guys ever heard the movie Night at the Roxbury?
Yeah.
So I saw that movie when I was a lot younger, and you know, I'm new. I'm in Hollywood. I'm thinking like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna go to the Roxbury. Yeah, blah blah blah. So if you remember the movie, it's just like that. The staircases go down. Again, I get there. It must have been white party night because I get there, and there's these dudes making out over here. There's girls there, but they're like not being regular girls. So I'm in there. There's guys swinging from ropes, butt naked. I'm like, what is going on? Why would you invite me here? What signal did I give you? Because it wasn't that one. So I'm texting the guy, hey, where are you at, man? I'm like kind of stuck. And so the levels go down like this to the dance floor and have a VIP table right there. I saw the guy, he was dressed way different. He had the dress on. I was like, oh my God. So I had, I'm naive and I'm young and I don't want to piss them off either because I'm scared of my career. I'm not going to get no more money, no more, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I sit down and they give me a drink, blah, blah, blah. And then I see this guy like putting like stuff in the drink. And I'm like, that guy, we're not being a drink here. So I don't know if they put something in my drink. I didn't drink it. I got the drink, so I grabbed back to the restroom. Went to the restroom, dumped it in the trash, left. Didn't say bye again, nothing, just took off. Guy texted me a couple times, never got in touch with him again. But yeah, I can tell you 100% sure. I'm not sure about Pizzagate, but I do know that a lot of sexual things go on there. It's kind of like an initiation. So pretty much the way what I learned is that they want to control you now. A man especially, men have more pride, right? No man wants to be known for his manhood being taken away. That's just something that men don't want to do or to want them to know if it happened, by force, whatever. So if they can make a straight guy do that, they can make you do absolutely anything. Exactly, the blackmail, and you already gave up the one thing that makes you a man. So after that, those people never come back. They're messed up for the rest of their life. It don't matter how much money they make, they're probably gonna spend it all on psychiatry. But I can tell you that it's either you get, and I'm just being very straightforward from the people I spoke to and what I witnessed. In the beginning, it's what I would say, the light, the more you want, the worse you gotta do. So I know at the lowest level, at least from what I learned, like people like Channing Tatum, especially Channing Tatum, he was a gay stripper for the elites. I don't know if you know that. He used to give lap dances to all the directors, the Jewish guys, before he became famous. But they start off with, you have to get pegged. You know what that means? I don't want to explain it, Google it. You have to get pegged, or you have to perform oral on a man, as a man. That would get you maybe a little role on a TV show or something like that. You want to be Tony Stark, Iron Man movie, you best believe you gotta get down with the white party, so to say. So that's why I didn't continue all that. I knew my career would never take off without giving up my manhood, and that's never gonna happen. I'd rather die. So go ahead.
So you believe that there's not one person that's not compromised there?
It's hard.
And what do you think about like professional sports and things like that?
Oh, I don't know if all of them are, but it's in all the sports. They're rigged. A lot of the games are rigged. I can tell you now, as being a boxing coach in the professional boxing world, more than 50% of the fighters pay the other person to dive.
Yeah, more than 50%.
Yeah, more than 50%. It's really big. But to answer your question, it's really hard to say because maybe a lot of them already been through that, but they don't care and they're going to speak out anyway. Maybe like Mel Gibson, maybe. People like that. But I just don't believe that you can have a big movie role in a very big movie without doing this shit. It just, the people that are in charge of the studios, they don't care. They don't need you. They want you. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. It's a really crazy thing to do. Go ahead.
So what about like this whole new there's like a group of Christian actors and trying to make like Christian and try to fight like Hollywood.
Like Angel Studios?
Well, no, I'm talking like Denzel, Mel Gibson, guys like that. They're like trying to make like Christian. They're all compromised.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way because there's a lot of things that you can. I mean, how many pictures of Denzel Washington magazines going like this? Illuminati. It's like, either are you or you're not. I mean, it's hard to say, but what I do know is that you cannot be an A-list superstar without doing something. It's just they won't allow it. They're not gonna. If they do it to everybody, what makes this guy so special? He's not going to get it done to. They want to control you. The whole P. Diddy, look at the P. Diddy thing, man. That thing is just wild, man. Who knows what those people have been through, but they're not lying. There's no way these people all tell the same story. But yeah. Any other questions, anybody? Go ahead.
I had a comment. You asked about the owl.
Okay.
You saw, and this is in California.
Yes, Southern California.
Okay. first thing that came to my mind was Bohemian Grove.
Okay.
And the cremation of care, the owl.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was Lilith. Lilith is the screech owl.
Yes, that I've actually did an episode with Vicky Joy Anderson. If you guys know who she is,
Yes.
she's like a very, really in tune with all that stuff, and she broke it down.
Right.
So she broke down the whole Lilith thing. There could be some connection to it. I'm not sure. It could be like one of her minions or
Right.
somebody practicing her witchcraft.
Now, the third thing that came to mind was, David and John did a thing on California. Was named after Kali.
Oh yeah, the queen. Yeah. With the
Queen
griffins and all that
Kali.
stuff. Yeah.
Right.
That's yeah.
And, you know, she had griffins and dragons and all kinds of.
Apparently, there's a lot of history that they would brag about her that she would
Yeah.
fly her griffins around and keep
Absolutely.
guard of the shores, I guess.
Right, so I don't know if
Maybe,
that
I
was the
mean,
connection of what they
could
might
not
have
be.
been.
Yeah, I just know that things are demonic. That's what I know.
And so it is very charged.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you say the mounds, if there were mounds there, you know, there's Nephilim were there.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
And coincidentally, the Native Americans used to do these rituals where they would bury themselves on top of the mountain, on top of the giant, to
Yeah.
get their powers with some kiva pot. So I don't think it's a coincidence. We have a mountain, we have Indian pottery there. Another thing
Right.
too, we will find seashells
oh.
all over the desert.
Right.
Massive amount of seashells and fossils.
They said California was an island.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
a lot of crazy stuff out there. You have a question?
Yeah, sorry, last
No,
question.
go ahead. That's what I'm here for.
I know that there's been recently a rise of this whole spirit cooking thing, especially with the Kardashians.
Oh, yeah.
Marina Abramovic and
Yeah.
eating people and having that, like there's politicians involved. Did you witness or have any kind of interactions or hear of any like thing where they're eating someone?
I never heard about that, but I do know there's a couple MMA fighters that came up with their popularity because they got pegged and they're drinking their own fluids, so to say.
Right.
The sexual ones, not the pee ones. So that's about much of what I heard. But I don't know about the eating stuff. But I mean, I wouldn't put it out. I mean, these people are willing to do sick stuff. Sin has no limit.
Yeah.
There's no limit to sin.
Cannibal restaurant, there's a cannibal restaurant in LA, I believe.
Really?
Yes, called the Cannibal Club.
How is that even legal?
Are you serious?
Their website says they ethically source human meat.
Before we leave, somebody give me that. I'm gonna do a podcast. Wild. That is absolutely wild. But I don't think Los Angeles is named the city of angels for no reason. The city of fallen angels, in my opinion. And Hollywood is the repeat of Nero, Rome, Holywood. It's all a repeat of history. Everything's a repeat. Every nation falls, and the devil just makes a new one with the same idea, different packaging. You got the pagan gods, and now the Roman Catholic Church says they're the saints. You got Diana, goddess worship, they call her Mary. I mean, it's just the same thing. No offense, anybody's a Catholic here. I mean, I'm just telling you what I read and what I learned. So, yeah. Any other questions? Go ahead, bud.
You mentioned range, and you were surrounded by ranges. It sounds like, what kind of animals did you have, and then were those animals ever aware, or did they seem aware?
Oh, yeah, they'd be screaming and crying. So the dogs, whenever something happened, we had really tough dogs. They would be whimpering out the door trying to get in. But we did have some chickens get mutilated. I don't know. This is more like torn apart, and it could have been a coyote. I don't know. But there was a lot of weird times where when a dog is cowering like that at the door, there has to be something out there that's not another dog. Because dogs are they're not gonna run away from another dog. I mean, there's like 20 dogs we had. Like, they're all scared. You know, 20 of them couldn't take one thing. I mean, I don't know. But we had chickens, rabbits, goats, horses, and cows. Not at the same time, like three or four species at a time, but we had all those different ones. But my grandfather made his money mostly growing date trees and selling date trees. Date palms, sorry. Yeah. Any other question? Nobody? Let's go.
Going back to the cannibalism thing, is the red shoes, does that hold any weight?
Oh yeah, the red bottoms, they call them the red bottoms. So when Louis Vuitton red bottoms, all the rappers talk about having red bottoms, and all the ones that talk about how it's demonic symbology. So that's supposed to be like you're walking on blood kind of symbol thing. You're showing that you're part of the occult, the bottom of your shoe being red, like you're stepping on blood kind of thing. Something like that. Look it up. It's something like that. But there's definitely symbolic. When they roll out the red carpet, the blood trail. Remember, guys, we are flesh and blood. The fallen angels or the demon, whatever you want to call them, the angels specifically, they're flesh and bone.
Yes.
In order for them to enter this realm, you need the blood sacrifice. That's why they do the blood rituals. You need blood to be in this realm. Every single animal has blood. So that's the whole thing with the ritual thing. The angels need that opening, need the blood, they need that portal. And that's why when they do the circle, the salt, it keeps that entity in the salt. It keeps it in, it's like a barrier. That's why you see these movies that try to read, oh, don't break the salt, and the demon comes out. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. So, yeah, that's about as much as I know about that. But any other questions? Go on,
Since
right
we're
there.
out in Hollywood, Kanye West, I understood was under MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Becomes a Christian.
That's a little wild.
Now he's all out. He had his mother killed.
Yeah, she died from a really weird surgery.
Yeah.
And that was,
True and real.
yeah, 100% true. He's talked about it millions of times. I don't know what's going on with that guy. I actually went to his concert. We had the Jesus King in Inglewood. And the crowd, when I went there, I'm just telling you my experience. His music was good. I mean, the album he made was good. If he was very genuine, it was good. Whether he's a piece of junk now, the album was decent. It was good. It was the best rap Christian music I've ever heard in my life. But when I went there, I'm thinking I'm going to church, we're doing the gospel, he's gonna go sing. He has like all the, what do you call it when you have a group of people singing? The choir, like in church, he had it like that. It was really nice. But the crowd was all demonic. People were fighting, getting drunk right next to us. These two girls were pulling each other's hair. These two guys were fighting over dumb shit. It was awful. One time this guy almost hit me out, and I was about to get into it. I was hitting my girl at the time. So it was all like bad energy there. Like the performance was good, but everybody was fighting in the crowd. One girl got rolled down the stairs. It was wild. Yeah, but I don't know about that guy. He looks different now. Like he looks completely different. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole and say they're cloned, but cloning is a real thing. This has already been proven. They just cloned those two wolves.
All those clones lined up.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know this. About 6 months ago, they cloned two direwolves, a 10,000-year-old species, and one of the directors of Game of Thrones actually has one. And they're supposed, those things get about, they say they're supposed to get about this big.
They call animals in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Dogs, horses. So that's already going on.
Yeah. We're talking about extinct beings though. When you bring back species that are extinct, it messes up the balance of the ecosystem.
The company is Colossal Biosciences.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other questions, anybody? We got about 15 minutes left. You guys got any questions? I'd love to answer them.
Does your family still own that property?
No, we sold that place a long time ago. That place was a living nightmare. It was a living nightmare. I'll tell you guys one. We also had this weird creature. We never saw it, but we heard it and the dogs ran. We would call it the clack clack monster because it sounded like a chicken making a clack clack noise, but a woman screaming and a pig squealing at the same time. It was an awful noise. We never saw it, but we hear it running around the ranch. My grandpa would shoot rounds off in the trees. Nothing would happen. The dogs are cowering. But one of the times it happened, we heard it because we had on our ranch on the other side. We had a clay field. The dirt was all clay, like real clay. You wet it, it's real clay. All the cracks in the ground. And if you know that stuff, and you step on it, it doesn't really leave a print. It just cracks into it. Whatever we saw, maybe it was wet that night. I don't know, but we saw like this foot that looked like like a bird with a back. It was about this big though. Whatever it was had a stride about this big. Right? So I have no idea what it was. I called the chicken monster. I don't know what it was, but it sounds like you guys know what a cockatrice is? That's what, I never seen it, but that's what it feels like. That's what the feet look like. So there was a lot, like I said, a lot of our animals got just destroyed out there, but they were never torn apart except for some chickens, but the dogs were always sucked dry all the time with their fluids. Their eyes were just bulging out.
Did anything follow you when your family left that property?
Wow, you just brought a memory up. So I did have one more experience in LA. So when I first moved to LA, my dad had moved when I was still in high school, my senior year, and I wanted to finish my high school year with my friends. So I stayed out in the desert with one of my good friends and his mom and dad were nice enough to welcome me in and live with him for a whole year. My dad was just giving some rent money or whatever. So my dad first moved to Culver City with my stepmom and my sister. And when we got there, we had a miniature pinches. And they just had a litter of like 8 or 9. And they were outside in the backyard. So this was, I don't know when Halo 2 came out, but it was that day when Halo 2 came out. Because I remember I went to Best Buy to pick it up like at midnight, right? So I got my Halo 2, got home, was ready to, so I'm playing video games till about 2, 3 in the morning, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, the bed that I'm sitting on starts vibrating like big, not just like that, all 4 corners, boom, 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 boom. And I'm sitting there frozen because I don't want to believe what's happening. I'm like, this shit all over again. I'm like, no way. So I'm like this, I'm waiting for it to stop. And when it stops, I don't even want to move. I'm just there like, did this just happen? Then it happened again. Boom, 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 even harder. And I started yelling. In my head, I wanted it to be the dogs under the bed. But it didn't make any sense. Those little dogs aren't gonna lift the bed up like that. So in my head, like the safety in my head, the brain tries to make you be safe. If there's too much trauma, my brain was telling me it's the dogs under the bed. So I'm yelling loud at 3, 2 in the morning, get out of the bed, you dumb dogs, blah, blah, blah. And then my stepmom, what's going on, blah, blah. I'm like, the dogs are under the bed making noise. And the stepmom goes, they're all outside, what are you talking about? And when she said that, the reality hit me that it's there again. I turned white. She said I turned white. And I was like, this shit is already here again, attacking me. So I never slept in that room again. I slept in the living room and I prayed every night for months and months. I don't know how long it was until I felt better. But that happened and it was terrifying because it's like, this thing is here too. Like, leave me alone. So that happened about, 2005, 2006, 2007. And then I lived by myself. I had my own apartment a few years ago. My dad got sick, so I take care of him now. But I had my own apartment a few years ago, and I had 2 more experiences. The other one was I was sitting on my couch, and unfortunately, I was still being a heathen, going out drinking like a dumbass. So I went out, I drank, and I remember sitting on the couch like this, by myself, and I just felt like I'm like depressed. I'm like, what am I doing drinking, going out, like trying to chase what am I doing with myself, right? So I'm sitting down like this with my head back, just thinking like tipsy out of my mind. And then I feel something sit next to me, boom. And then here we go again, I can't move, I'm stuck like this. I'm like, here we go again. So I feel this thing right here, like it's looking at me, but I can't look at it. And in my ear, I think I asked, who did I talk? I think I asked Gary Wayne about it. But in my ear, I kept hearing a specific repeat. It said, rah, bah, bah, rah, bah, bah, rah, bah, bah. Then it got louder, and I started praying, and boom, it went away. And because I was trying to get up so hard, I launched off the bed because I was like, boom, I came out. And I got up and I just yelled, I'm like, leave me alone. So I went in my room and I just went to bed. And then about a year later, this was the last experience I had. I was about maybe 30, 37 now. So I had a 2-bedroom apartment. I just had an extra room just because at the time there was no ones available. I just had a 2-bedroom apartment. So that room was kind of like my collector room. I collect like toys and cars and stuff like that, whatever. So I'm in the room just laying down and like resting. I think I got back from the gym or something. I was laying down like chilling on my phone, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden I hear like a ringing in my ears. Here we go again, frozen. Oh, I can't tell you how sick I am of this. No, I was frozen again and I couldn't move. So I looked this way and the door's right there in my hallway, and I swear I don't know how to explain this, but a box, like a box about this big, was floating towards me. It was like a dark green granite rock color. Just floating, like, what the hell is this thing now? So it's coming towards me. I'm like, I don't want to see it, but I had to. So when it got over me, I was wide awake, it's not a dream. I can't explain what it was, but it looked like a box, and there was a big ugly face trying to come out of it and bite me. And it looked like, I don't know how to explain it, but have you guys ever played Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Remember the castle, those big rocks, they go down like angry faces?
Yeah.
It looked like that, like a rock, like it looked like a rock too, like the face was like a rock monster. And I prayed, and it literally went like this, and it went out the room. And went down the hall, I don't know where it went, and again, I launched up, because I was trying to get up. And then I just started praying, I was just kind of asking myself, like, why does this keep happening to me? Like, leave me alone, man, like, gosh, go ahead.
Was this before or after your Hollywood experience?
This is after.
This is after?
Yeah, I moved out of Hollywood when I was like 22.
Okay.
So yeah, I was already long gone, but yeah.
So the stuff on the farm was after as well?
No, so the farm, I was living on the farm till I was 17.
Oh, okay.
Then Then my dad moved to LA. Then I lived with my friend for 1 year for that senior year. Then I moved with my dad to LA, and this all it happened. The ranch first, the thing that threw me off was the beginning, and then the Hollywood stuff was the middle, and then the box thing and the rah bob thing was at the end. That was my most
So
recent
you
one.
had a break in between all. Like,
Yeah, I had like a little break.
Because while you're doing the Hollywood thing, there was not really a supernatural.
No, it was just
experience.
all stuff in front of me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So it was just like, either way, I'm gonna be like around this stuff, and it's just crazy because it doesn't happen to anybody else except that I know. Like, it's like, why me? Because I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't feel like I'm doing all the stuff that these people are doing.
Do you think that it from them parties that you get ready
Oh, yeah.
to something dashed to you and
It could have
taken
been.
your place?
I just don't like when I was going out drinking and being a fool. I don't think it's possible for you not to get followed home by something, because you're just showing this demon that you have a weakness and he's gonna prey on it. Whether that's drugs, alcohol, women, men, whatever, they're gonna prey on it. And before you know it, I mean, dudes are getting addicted to porn. I mean, they don't know what to do. They don't know how to treat a woman right. And the women just want to be single, and then when they get older, they regret it. It's just all this crazy stuff going on right now. At least where I live in California, nobody wants to be. Women don't want to be women, and men don't want to be men. The men want to be women, the women want to be men. And it's just wild to me. And a lot of kids are like transgender, like 8, 9 years old. I look at the parents like they're demons. Like, how could you do this to your kid? I don't want to hear it. There's no excuse for it. Absolutely not. So yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff where I live. It's Palm Springs, it's like the second gayest place in the world. The gayest place is always Tel Aviv of all places, Israel. And we're number 2. I think San Francisco. I think we beat them now. They're number 3. Yeah, Atlanta's number 4. And on it goes. But yeah, crazy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Any more questions? We got about 5 minutes.
Man, how many so you've been in Hollywood, you've trained fighters, you've been in the sports industry. How much of what we see on TV, even in sports, is real?
I can tell you that a lot of the football games are real.
Yeah, like you said that.
The Chiefs come in all the time. So look at, you have what's his name? Tom Brady. Lord of the Rings, right? Literally. That guy, it's well known that Giselle's a witch, his ex-wife.
Yeah.
They talked about it on Main Street, but they talked about it like in a fun way, like when you just kind of like, oh yeah, we do some magic, but they were talking, it wasn't like a conspiracy, they talked about it. And they said the ritual was to make him win. And he did, he won 7 Super Bowls? Coincidental number 7. And then we got Mahomes now. He's kind of going around the same route. Have you guys seen his brother?
Yeah,
This guy's
his brother's
like
weird.
Anti-God, really LBGT weirdo. So I don't know what's going on in this world, but there's a lot of things that make you go,
Yeah.
interesting. Like all the celebrities, like Megan Fox, all her kids are transgender. That's impossible without teaching it. It's impossible. There's no way. And then, what's that? Jamie Lee Curtis, all her kids transgender. Dwyane Wade, basketball player, kids transgender. LeBron James, I think his kids are transgender too, and on it goes.
Yeah,
it just
you're
goes
right.
on and on and on.
Out the door, man. Thank you for coming this weekend. Let me ask you, what's your goal? What's your drive?
My
What's
goal
your
now.
calling?
So my goal now is, I know a lot of people like to talk about these cryptids and the dogmen and the werewolves and the reptilians and the Nephilim. Like it's a very fascinating subject. It really is. It's more interesting than any science fiction fantasy movie. But we have to always keep track of what the goal is. I noticed a lot of podcasters start off with Jesus, and then before you know it, their whole logos are Bigfoot, and then they're Christians, but they call themselves the Illuminati, and then all their episodes are about obsessing with these creatures. It's okay to talk about it, but don't forget that there's Jesus, and you need to teach these people to not look for these things. Because, God, think about it. Like, these are not primates. They're not some creature that hasn't been discovered yet. These are demonic entities. His father has the DNA. It's the same. Was the chromosome? Was the chromosome?
Yeah, mitochondrial DNA is human. The nuclear DNA is unknown. So basically, it is a Nephilim.
It's the same thing as the Paracas Peru skulls. You have the chromosome from the mother, but the father's DNA there's nothing on this earth that matches it. It's from
Guess
another
what that is?
place.
It's a copy. The Lord said, upon Mary, you'll conceive supernaturally.
Mm-hmm.
Father is holy.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's a
try to copy.
So I'll end it with this. My thing is that I want to make sure people don't, so to say, open another Ouija board. It's the same thing. Once you play with the Ouija board, you're opening that portal, and you cannot close the portal with other witchcraft. Demons can't cast out demons. They can pretend to cast it out, but that doesn't work. If that happens, don't call a shaman, don't call a medium, call a God-fearing man or woman, whatever, a group of them. That's how you close the door. It's the same thing. You go looking for it, you're telling them that I want to meet you, I'm inviting you. Like a vampire, you have to invite them in. They have to get permission. Because we, no matter how dumb and bad we are, we're still children of God. As long as we have that, as long as we're human, we keep our humanity, we all have the potential to cast these things out and be very, very fearing men of Lord and women, of course. But thank you guys for coming. God bless you guys. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to close out with a prayer really quick, if you guys don't mind. Let's bow our heads. Oh, wow, sorry. Dear Father, I come before you today. I want to say thank you for having me in this place with all these people. I'm in shock, and I'm just feeling really humbled that these people want me to talk. It's wild, like who am I? But these people are also have amazing testimonies, and I want all these people to hear what I said and receive the message that I said about you, Christ. I want them to help all these people in this room to go home safe. Protect them with your guardian angels and your mighty hand. Let these people go home with nothing following them, only your guardian angels. I want you to bless their family and their children. Make sure everybody that's going on the flight gets home safe. And always remember, Jesus is King, and this whole world, we are just like pieces. Jesus is the main character. He always has been. It's a story of God who loves his son so much, he's going to save the world. Never forget that. He is the main character. Thank you, Jesus, for giving us life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you guys.